Hello. Welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. This is episode 205. Not going to say it. Tonight, well, let's see. We're going to talk about something that happened this week. What happened this week?
Nothing.
Hmm.
Anything happen?
Desiree got the flu.
There's
Desiree got
nothing
the.
going
We're going
on.
to talk about Desiree's flu experience. Oh, look at her pouty face.
Mm.
Um, Oh yeah, the inauguration of our 47th president and 45th. Um, I didn't get to watch a lot of it because unfortunately it was the day after my 3 day uh stint at work, which is usually a pretty exhausting day. I did get to watch my little guy play soccer, and he blocked the ball with his chest like a pro. I was so proud.
No hands.
No hands. He just jumped up, blocked it, and
That's
I.
weird because usually balls don't hit him in the chest.
Oh
Hmm.
wow, that's just dark. Um, um, no, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see. But yes, the inauguration. Um,
Man.
I didn't get to watch so much of the inauguration. I did get to see the things I did see was the black gentleman killing it. And they kept calling it a benediction or something, right?
The prayer.
Yeah, the prayer. He
And
was
yeah.
amazing, that dude. And I got to see Barron standing next to Elon and seeing the actual full spectrum of autism.
That Wow.
That
was a joke. That was a
was a
joke.
joke. I hope I don't offend any autistic people. They won't notice. But but I saw that.
You get to cut this one this week.
I'm not cutting shit. I love my autistic patients. I really do. They're very great. Um, I saw the parade indoors, which was a little weird.
Parade indoors? They did
What
the
was
parade
that?
indoors?
Well, yeah, because nobody was out on the street. It was like
Is that what they called the
negative
thing at Cap
20
One
degrees.
at the Capitol Center?
Yeah, yeah, at the Capitol Center. I
The
mean, I guess
Capitol One
that's what it's
Arena?
called.
Yeah.
A parade, right? I mean, they kind of just circled the thing and went by. Um,
I thought there was a parade or maybe like a walk too. I don't know, because there was like a bunch of shit in the street and like
well,
barricade
you
things.
nobody was getting anywhere in the city unless you took the metro.
Oh.
It was all metro, understandably. Um,
No,
some
I mean like a bunch of like trash and stuff. Like there had been a bunch of people walking
maybe
in Oh. in an
perhaps
area,
perhaps
I heard I heard there was a but I lot don't of know. trash down by the Capital One Arena because when they let people in, they wouldn't like let them take purses, Maybe chair, that's what it nothing. was. So everyone just piled their stuff up outside,
wow,
gave it up.
nice.
Hmm.
Um, that was a takeaway. Baron is a very interesting character.
What
I
is
don't
he
know.
like 7'8"?
Yeah, he's like he's
No,
like
he
super tall. Like it's come to my attention that Trump is not a short guy by any stretch.
He's
He's
like
like
6'4".
6'4", and Barron towers over him.
I think
Um,
Melania is like six something.
really,
Hmm. so
she is very first lady-ish. I'll give her that. She's got a Jackie O vibe to her. Not in her politics, but just the look. She's got a very poised presentation.
sophisticated.
Yeah, yeah.
6'9".
6'9" Baron is.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Melania. I was like, damn, I don't think so.
Wow, he's taller than Ollie. Not by much. And Ollie's only
I mean, you don't.
15, so he's got some growing.
What size shoe does that kid wear?
My kid or Baron?
No, Baron.
No clue, but
Probably big.
big.
Probably special made. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Special made fucking who's a shoe brand? Never mind. I
I
don't.
think that you can get Under Armour shoes like size 15 is what they have in store. Those are big. Bigger than that, you gotta order them, I guess.
Ollie's wearing 14s and he's He's only 15, so
Yeah, my son's I think he's in what, 12s? 11 or 12.
Wow.
was he tall?
So
Yeah, he is tall. He's taller than I am.
so did
Everybody's taller than you are.
so Jason,
Well,
Zeus said that you just got back. You just recently back in the country.
from Japan.
Yeah, yeah, Japan.
Where you did you how's it over there? How are our friends over there?
Did
Uh,
Godzilla attack while you were there?
it's just a couple of times. They're pretty good at repelling him these days.
Nice.
Um, a little less so when it comes to Mecha Godzilla, but they're
Yeah,
developing technology, so
he's tough. He's tough.
yeah. He is a
Mothra is the
rough
one you
one.
got to worry about.
Mothra, yeah, that's and you got to pit them against each other. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Those
Um,
The
What were
zippers
you
get
what were
stuck.
you doing in Japan?
Japan.
just
scouting.
Japanning, Japanning. Never really been there and thinking things were cheap, but now is
Mm,
definitely a good time to go to Japan
wow.
because the exchange rate is wild.
What do you
Hold
think?
on, so you really were going there to buy shit?
No, no.
Oh.
Visit my wife's family.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep,
That's
that's all.
awesome.
Just hang out and not be in the US and doing work.
Well,
U.S.
so
Well, I'm
stuff.
about to go to Mexico with my flu.
Nice. But they did not get a new president this week. Japan did not, I don't think.
They did not, no.
didn't
And
they have?
well, or I mean they kind of did. I mean
Yeah.
everyone kind of
Yeah,
did.
everyone kind of did.
I mean certainly Greenland and Panama and Canada and Mexico.
We should buy Greenland.
Panama Corps. Well, now Panama's saying like we didn't give it to China, it's still ours. So I don't
Well,
know.
what I heard, this is what I heard. I heard that
What had you heard?
yeah, this is what I heard. I heard that yeah, Panama has got it, but China just runs it
Yeah, which is still
That's interesting.
like on the back end.
I do remember when Jimmy Carter did that, and even as a child, I was like, why in the hell did he do that? I mean, even
What?
as a kid, I was just like, why
That,
get, I mean, hundreds of people died of malaria digging that thing.
wasn't it thousands?
Thousands?
Tens of thousands?
Yeah, I mean, it was a mess. Digging through the jungle, and then he just gave it away. It just seemed odd to me.
Well, I thought, well, didn't we get to keep it for a while?
Yeah, but we built it, so it's sort of like, and it was a strategic, it still is. I mean, it's a,
Well, it's like a gift. Like, you know how the French gave us the Statue of Liberty? It's a gift.
yeah,
Here,
there you go.
there you go. Have this.
Well, I mean, I guess my question for everybody is how's everyone feeling about this new change? Like good,
I'm
bad,
feeling like I need
different?
to do some research on Greenland and what's cool about it.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Like
good
it's cool, like it's
location.
cold.
It's good. It's a good location. It's got plenty of natural resources. I mean, it's that idea has been floated for a long time. I mean, I've heard that a long, 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 long time. I mean, Denmark's had it for time immemorial, right? When did they get it? Quite a while ago.
Well, who had it before?
I don't know.
The Greenlanders?
Well, it's not really even now. It's a pretty free-ranging place. I mean, politically. I mean, it's settled. It's got towns and but not.
Like two towns.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Isn't
like
it
a
isn't it weird how like Greenland is icy and Iceland
is
is
green.
green?
Greenie.
Yeah.
Is greeny.
Iceland is like very active, geothermically.
I know
I
you can
don't know which
stand.
one it is, but one of them, either Greenland or Iceland, they got like more bars for per capita than
It's Iceland.
anywhere
It's
in the
probably
world.
Iceland. Yeah, I mean, Greenland's more
In
of like a
Rape Check.
territory than anything, you
Yeah, the
know.
you in Iceland you can stand on like there's a place that where these two tectonic plates are constantly like moving like a fault line
Yeah.
on like this like sea of lava, like this river of lava, I don't know. But the two tectonic plates are like one's like the North American plate and one's like the European plate, and so you can literally stand on two continents at once.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
They should put an
Greenland,
international house of
Like you can
pancakes
do
up
that.
there.
You can do that in Turkey. Gobble gobble.
Stand on two
I think it's
continental
because
plates.
I think it's called Turkey now, but Turkey, something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, because some of it's in Asia, and it's a part in Istanbul. I went to it, um,
You
but
stand on it?
we didn't stand on it because
Oh,
like we didn't know that it was that until the guy was like, "Oh yeah, that's da da da," and I was like, "Oh shit," but we didn't go back. Um, but yeah, like it's part of it's Asia and part of it's Europe.
hmm.
Greenland
Oh,
is an autonomous country within the Kingdom of Denmark with a
Okay.
population of 50, almost 56,000.
That's pretty small.
56,000. Wichita, Kansas has more people than that.
Yeah.
Annandale, Virginia has more people than that.
I mean, the Capital One Arena only holds 20,000. So,
Basically, it's just waiting for someone to walk in and say,
Go
this
buy
is
it.
ours.
I mean, it's one of those things where technology has made it more desirable because like Canada's Northern Territories, because you have all the provinces of Canada, and then you have like the Northern Territories, which is like the bulk of the
Yeah, and
geography,
igloos.
Oh my
and
God.
it just goes
Igloos.
forever. And there's not, I mean, there's people up there, but there's not a ton of industry necessarily. But now with heating and, well, not cooling, but mechanical advances, atmospheric advances, like for your shelter, and you can go there. And also we've learned how to mine the resources that are there. So
And
it's
also
not
there's
that.
places on Antarctica. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have bases down there. But what I'm saying is 300 years ago, 400 years ago, nobody was talking about taking Greenland because you couldn't really do much. But now there's a lot you can do with that
these are two
land.
things I heard. Number one, oil. There's oil there. I
There's
don't
all
know.
kinds of stuff there. Yeah.
And then apparently it's also a good location for like defense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's right on the Arctic Circle, and that's
Hmm.
where a lot of
You
countries
can see Russian boats
are
and
digging
China
in.
boats.
Yeah.
Seeing as Mike mentioned Canada, one of the funnier memes that I heard this week or saw was all these like celebrities going, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Canada," and then it said Trump's next executive order is to make Canada the 51st state.
Hmm.
Why did Trudeau quit?
Did he quit?
Oh, because
Yeah, he like resigned.
he
Um,
politically he's kind of in bad shape because the inflation rate in the country and
and he's
people
an
aren't liking it. I mean, he pretty much did a lot of what Biden did,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
oh my God,
they're
that was
not
the
as
best
robust as
thing.
us. So,
So again, I came in late to the game watching the festivities, whatever you want to call it, from the inauguration. But the greatest thing was watching Trump and Melania walking out of the room, and then they were followed by Kamala and her
Hmm.
husband,
Kamala, yeah.
and then whatever. Who cares? She ain't
Oh,
got
jeez.
nothing now. And then that was followed by Biden and his caretaker Jill.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but it was just beautiful to watch because you know they're just seething and they got to carry that.
Well, I probably not as bad as that crow tasted when she had to what is it called? I have
Certify
flu
the
brain.
election.
Certify the election.
That was awesome.
I don't know. I mean, I think Biden probably he probably likes it. I mean, he's all about the power and the trappings and all that stuff. So I think there's a part of him he's just like whatever. But I would agree. Kamala and her husband did not look, and Jill Biden did not look like they were enjoying themselves at all. Joe looked like he was okay to me.
Because Joe has dementia, so Joe is just
But
okay to be alive.
but yeah, but even
He's
without that,
happy to live the day.
he
It's a
he
new day.
he likes being, yeah. I mean, it is pretty amazing. I mean, the civility that it is still on display. I mean, it's one of the few things that you get to watch in our government these days where the parties actually somewhat get along. I mean, Klobuchar, who's a she's pretty radical leftist. She did a great job, as like running the show, being the MC and everything. And I mean, it is nice. It's for it is nice to see that exchange of power because that's not something that happens
But it's
quite
also
that way in other countries, you know?
but it's also a brutal reminder of how different the right is now than they were in years past. Like they were civil. I didn't get to listen to his inaugural speech, but I heard that he didn't hold back.
He didn't stop talking the whole day. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
kept sticking a microphone in his face. The guy talked like till like 2 in the morning.
But but there was a civility that I did not expect. I would have expected and kind of even slightly welcomed a little bit of harsh words, but he didn't do that, and that was good.
Well, I would probably be having stank face if I had to walk behind them if I was Kamala
Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah.
the whole
I mean,
time.
you got to act like you're above it, but the
Eye
thing is
rolls and
though,
all.
here's the thing with politicians, and I don't know the answer. I've been curious about this. You know, we get on this podcast and our gears are grinding from week to week, or we have something to say, and it's like sometimes we're very passionate about it, and sometimes they seem like they're very passionate about it, but other times it seems like they're just sort of like that's their sport. You know what I mean? Like that's I don't know how much they personally get into it because it just seems like that would be so exhausting. I don't even know how you could do that. I mean,
Yeah,
part of it's just the role they're playing. It's the game, and part of the game is you have to act civil. If you're a previous president and something momentous happens and they call all the old presidents, you got to come. You got to say hi, whatever. Um, you get Secret Service protection the rest of your life. You're an
Where was
ambassador for the country no matter what for the rest of your life. You know that when you die, it's going to make international news one day. I mean, what I'm saying is it's a very weird and unique world to
do you
live
think
in,
I
they
I
didn't
like?
think.
see George Bush
Yeah, are they
walking
like in
around.
the?
The
Are they
younger
in the?
one was
Where was he
there.
at?
He was there at the inauguration. I don't think he did anything
Oh.
afterwards.
Are they back in the green room with each other? Like, hey, remember those 6 months I spent calling you a fascist? Wasn't
Yeah,
that funny?
yeah, that's what I mean. Is
Like,
that what
yeah,
they
that was
do?
good. You almost got me. I
Yeah,
almost lost.
I almost think that's what they do. I mean, you look at like Obama, he has a hard time hiding it. He's chatty and all that. I mean, I don't know. On one level, I just look at these people and I'm like, I don't know if they take it seriously or if
Yeah,
it's just
there
all
was
sport to them.
I forget, I think it was at Jimmy Carter's funeral. Trump and him were like chatting like old buddies, it looked like.
Yeah,
Was Clinton there at the inauguration?
Oh
Clinton's
yeah, he
there.
was looking at Melania's ass.
Oh, okay.
Michelle wasn't there, and one other person wasn't there. I can't remember. Of course, Carter wasn't there. I
Bush
don't think.
41? Is he
Well, he
even alive
was.
anymore?
Bush 41's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, Bush 43 is alive. He was there.
Oh wait, George Prescott died?
The older
No,
Bush?
no. HW,
Or HW,
that's
sorry. He
41.
Yeah.
died? I wasn't.
Years ago. Remember
Okay.
they did the whole train? He had like a funeral train and all that stuff.
Uh-uh.
A funeral
Um,
train.
yeah, he had a funeral train.
Hmm.
But so are you serious? You didn't know that the older Bush was no longer?
It
I
was a
Like,
was not
lot. It was a
aware.
while ago.
yeah, it
I
was.
didn't.
I think it was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Is Reagan still alive?
No,
Okay. Somebody just died.
Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter.
Is McKinley around? No, I'm just kidding.
No, he. So
Jimmy
here's
Carter's a weird one because like
So who's the last president alive? Bush? No.
the oldest
Clinton?
president
No.
is
Biden.
Bush. No, Bush.
That
I mean, I'm sorry, Clinton. Yeah, Clinton is the oldest living
Clinton
living
president.
is
president.
He's
Clinton's
not the
older than
oldest.
Biden?
No, he's
No,
not
no, no,
old
not
in
the oldest,
Oh,
but
age.
I mean the
oh.
most previous.
Yeah,
The most previous.
the most previous. I gotta write
The
that down. I think
most
that's our title.
previous.
The
The
most previous.
previous.
Yeah, he was the president the longest ago of all
The
the
longest.
92 to
Who was
2000.
who was president between the Bushes?
Clinton. It was Bush
yeah,
Was he?
41, Clinton, and then Bush 43.
wow.
And then
Yeah,
Obama.
because
Okay.
Bush 41
I don't
was a
know
one-term
history.
guy. He
I
only
was
was
alive for all this too, and I don't know.
he was in
And Clinton,
88 to 92, and then Clinton was in 92 to 2000, and then Bush was in 2000, 2008.
and anytime you see Clinton, you know that he's looking at somebody, like he's
Who
checking
was
somebody
before Bush 41?
Reagan from 80
Oh,
to 88, and then Carter was 76 to 80.
okay.
And then before that was Ford, before that was Nixon. That's when we were born, when Nixon was
Wow.
president.
Well, apparently Reagan was president
Yes,
when
he
I was
was.
born. And I
Yeah,
think actually it was election day, so
the fast 80s. Yeah.
he was about to not be president. I don't know.
So let's talk about some of the funny things that happened with this inauguration.
Hold on, I gotta get my computer charger. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go off on and I texted Mike earlier. I called him first because I was like, "What the fuck, really?" About Elon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just it's a clip. I don't think he's a Nazi.
He literally said, and this is the thing, we're getting part of they're already sending out the clips where they take it out of context. Because he said, "My heart goes out to you," or something like that. And it's clear, and he's a social retard, you know.
He's
He
awkward.
Yeah, he's awkward. I think admits to his Asperger's.
What was he
So,
like? My heart goes out to you. Is that what he
well,
was doing?
Yeah,
you just did
he
it the
like
wrong
grab.
way.
That's it.
My heart goes out to you.
But well, apparently, because there's people on both sides that are defending him, and AOC was the most appalling of them. Okay, now we have to edit that out.
No, I want
Let's
you.
mark the time. Um, AOC was the most appalling because she's like, "How you can see that and not know that he's a blah blah blah." It's like, come on. And then they're like, two of the names of the people that were defending him were both the names, I'm assuming Jewish, but definitely not, Aryan. And they were like, let's not create a problem that doesn't exist. He's been in the media for a long enough time that if they really thought that he was like, you know,
Well, it's just stupid. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like I can't even defend it because I'm like I don't even want to defend it because it's not even something that's worth
it's yeah,
my
it's
thought. I mean,
it's
it's
not a
not
thing. Yeah,
it
he's picking this moment to declare
yeah
himself. Yeah,
yeah
that's what he's gonna do.
he
He
pulled
has
it
nothing
over
else
on
going
all of
on.
us. He's a secret. Yeah, and now we're gonna
he's
put
a
people in
Manchurian
camps.
candidate.
It's just that's why on that text thread, I don't know. That's why I was just going off on like all that stuff I was saying the other day because it was just like very cathartic. I don't know. Jason, I don't know if you're still on the thread, but I
No.
was basically saying how I was like taking my daughter downtown to join the Hitler Youth, and my family and I were going to go out and find some people to deport before dinner. And I mean, just trying to like, this is what many people in our country think about people who are like pro Constitution and things like that. So I was just having fun with it. But there's people that believe that. Of course, if Elon does something like that, and they're like, "Oh, ha ha, ha
Well,
ha,
Jason
I've caught
Jason made
you."
the funniest point about it. He's like, okay, first time, okay. Then he turned around.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, it's just. I mean, to me, the craziest thing about the last 48 hours is, or even before that, but I still can't get over the whole Gulf of America thing, man. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's
hilarious.
so. It's
and
such a
and
Trump
McKinley.
thing. And
It's
McKinley, yeah.
like, what's the
Oh, Mount
point?
McKinley, yeah.
I mean, Denali is a pretty cool name,
Yeah.
and
Hold on, what
um,
was the McKinley thing?
Mount McKinley out in is
Al
it in Washington or Oregon? I think it's in
Yeah,
Washington.
so
Mount
they
McKinley
It's
is
the
in
In
tallest.
Alaska.
Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Alaska.
yeah,
Alaska. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
so
See,
so
but
they
it's
changed the name like
it
during Biden's or Obama's.
Obama.
I think
Yeah.
Obama's
Did they? Why?
to
because the
Denali.
Native American population out there wanted the name to be,
Mount Denali?
yeah, I
No, they
guess.
wanted it to be Denali.
And
Well, isn't there a
and
whole Denali ass like national park?
I don't
I
know.
don't
See,
know.
this is where my
Yeah,
knowledge drifts.
there's a whole national, it's like Denali like national park or
But
something.
I
Mount
did not
Denali or
research Mount
McKinley,
Denali versus Mount McKinley.
I
I'm
think it's
sorry.
the highest point in North America. I think that's its
Hmm.
claim to
Yeah.
fame.
But so one of his executive order, it was kind of a throwaway executive order. My favorite executive order, I'll talk about in a second. But basically, he said we're going to change it back to McKinley. You know what?
Why?
Honestly, leave it Denali. I don't care. And if
Yes.
it makes people happy, oh, so be it.
The
The
mountain
one
doesn't
that
have anything to do with
I have a
McKinley.
question. Who
Yeah.
asked for it to be changed to that?
the
Like
Native
this is,
American population in that
did
area.
they ask though?
The
Because
same people
that's
that
one of
wanted
those
to
things
change the name of the
that's like
Redskins. Yeah.
nobody even cared, but then like some
Oh,
white people
oh,
made it a
oh! If you want to
problem.
know who asked, it was Karen's in Manhattan.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's people that had their nose in some business caring about stuff that was did not affect them
I
Yeah.
I
and
think that
just
is
changing
correct.
names.
I think that's correct, Desiree.
Now,
If my memory serves, something like that.
my favorite executive order that was just like such a fuck you to Biden's last minute uh exoneration of all these people
Pardons.
of the January 6th thing. I love Trump's like, all right, I'm gonna free all the prisoners. It's like
Yeah.
bam.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that was, I think a lot of people were expecting the vast majority of them to be pardoned, and rightfully so. I mean, I know people were making hay about some of the people that
During
were
that one though,
violent.
they kept saying like, well, do you think people that assaulted officers should be have punishment? Nobody assaulted any officers.
There were some people there that were in fights, in physical altercations with officers, but it's a very small minority.
but
I
none of
mean,
them
of a
talked.
minority, very
Yeah.
small.
Did they throw hands first?
I don't know. I mean, each one
That's what
should
I'm
be looked
saying. Like
at.
if it
Yeah. No,
you're just supposed to let an officer whip your ass.
I mean, there's video
I
of
don't
enough
know.
people like breaking down barriers and smashing stuff, but again, my whole thing, and not to be like the whataboutism, but it is whataboutism to some degree. But I mean, we've talked about on this show. I mean, you had almost 32 people murdered during the summer of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them were like cops. Nothing
That
ever
happened
came of
then.
that. So
So
Yeah.
it's just sort of like I
Burning
have a
cities
hard
down, burning
time.
shit down.
Yeah. And the thing is they took the whole January 6th thing and blew it up into something it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it's sort of like doesn't even, I don't
was
know.
Jan 6 was definitely before the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, right?
I don't think so.
No.
Because
Yeah,
because the Kyle
Kenosha.
Rittenhouse stuff was going on when like they were
Yeah,
like
that was
burnt
the
like
summer.
during
Gotcha.
It was months before that.
the
Okay.
George Floyd
I
protests.
mean, again, other people have said this, but I do believe it, and it's something I've thought about quite a bit and thinking back to that time. But if you did not have the lawlessness in 2020 going, I mean, I'm talking like here in DC, I'm sure Jason may have some stories, I don't know. But I mean, if
He
you
lives
didn't
in
have all that
Arlington.
going on out in like Oregon and Portland and here in DC and New York and Kenosha, you wouldn't have had that riot at the Capitol. I think it put it in everyone's head as like this is what we're doing now. Like apparently this is how you let people know you're unhappy about political things. I don't know. I think context. The thing that no one talks about with January 6th is the context of when it happened.
And I still feel like all the images that were presented to us at that time, if they were to take the camera out another 500 yards, you'd realize that it was just this little,
Yeah, it wasn't that many people.
you know,
It was well, there's a lot of people there, but it wasn't that many people that were
storming the Capitol.
that were going inside and doing anything like that. But anyway, no,
Yeah.
I was happy to see those people released, especially, I mean, the vast majority who were trespassing, property damage. I mean, almost 1,500 people arrested, and then again, you look at like what happened before, and they're like almost no one's arrested or kept in jail, and it just
And they
seems a
burned
bad
buildings
taste in
to
your
the
mouth.
ground.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not. We have to have an equal justice in this in this
So,
country.
so to get back to the inauguration, another thing that I found, and this is why if JD Vance runs, I'm all about it.
Uncle Vance.
Love the
Those
guy.
baby blues.
His kids were acting a fool through the whole thing at Capital One Arena. They're just at one point I saw one of the little boys putting his hand on mom's head and on JD Vance's head and just like
Oh, I
muscle
didn't even see that. Yeah.
and he would just the poise that Vance had, because I'd be like, get your fucking hands on me, you know what I mean? And he was just like, come on, buddy, you gotta chill. Like you could tell that he
Actually,
was just dadding.
yeah, that would have been bad. Like on,
He was actually probably
what?
He's actually probably doing the whole like I'm yelling at you through my smile and my teeth.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away from me.
But if they had it on CNN of like slow motion, JD like,
Yeah, like
like
ventriloquism yelling.
Well, that was
kid
the
goes
funny
down.
thing.
I'm
Mom
gonna go
was
to the
They'll show
bathroom
that
if you don't
every.
stop right now.
the
Oh
funny thing
God.
that I noticed was Mom was getting a little salty about it, and JD just kind of steps up and goes, "I'll fucking murder you tonight."
I gotta check that out. I missed all that.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
It is surreal though, like having this change. Like we knew it was coming, and it's still like I just still can't quite get my whole head around it.
And
You
how
know, it's
about the
amazing.
balls on Trump for being not having like a Pope Mobile fucking situation protecting him from any gunshot? You know what I mean? He was just up on stage. I gotta hand it to the guy. He's
Yeah,
Well,
bold.
to Mike's point, he was talking all day.
yeah.
When was the last time you did Biden ever talk to the whole press? He was just sitting in front of them signing executive orders while
Yeah,
answering questions.
he
Yeah.
did say that. Like he did say, did Biden ever do this press
Yeah.
conference like this? No. Okay.
Yeah, that is a first. He was doing executive orders during his inauguration. He's like, I got to get this shit done.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. But yeah, I mean,
Did
it's a
you see?
great
Okay,
point.
did you see that guy? Like he was off to the side, and it like because they executive orders are on these big, beautiful presidential binder things,
Yeah.
right? And so like they would take one, and he would just like the guy that was like announcing what they were would just like take it after he signed it, and kind of take two steps back and kind of like chuck it to this other guy, and this other guy's like he's like this, like
Holding them.
he was gonna tip over, like. I don't know how he didn't drop none of them books, but
Yeah.
man, props to that guy.
Yeah. They need
I'd have dropped
a
about
wheeled cart.
all of them.
Do we know what the other ones were? So we covered Gulf of America, which is just
Hold
He
on, wait
re-
a second. Go back to Gulf of America.
Yeah.
that's very Trump.
So
That's
Did he release it?
yes, he really did that.
He did a
So
thingy on that? A little
her
thingy? A book
for
thingy?
yeah, for like U.S. government maps and all notations and things like that. He called it. He's now called the map or the Gulf of America, and I'm just like, again, it's one of those things of like
funny. It's so
all the
funny.
things, but it's so Trumpian to do that. That's
I
such
don't
a
I don't
Trump
think that's
move.
your seed and name, buddy, but okay.
Well, that's the thing. No one really owns it, so you know what you can kind of call it.
I
You
call
can
it the
call it
Gulf of
whatever you
Florida.
want. You can call it Gulf of Florida if you want to. The Gulf
Call
of
it
It's going to be the Gulf of Trump sooner or
yeah,
later.
yeah. I mean, again, I am uh I don't like all the executive orders, from any president, but there's so much that has to be done in such a short time. Again, I can't, it's hard for me to be critical right at this moment with everything that we've just been through, everything that he had to go through, just the miracle that we don't have Harris as screwing being a horrible person in that office right now. It's just
does he
amazing to me.
could he like pardon himself?
That's a good
Is
question.
that a thing? I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why
You got
not.
4 years to do it.
He
It's
can pardon anybody. I mean, he can't be indicted and he can't be prosecuted right now, um, by anyone but the Senate. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think by the time Trump leaves, I don't think he is looking to change things, and this administration is looking to change things far beyond just their 4-year term. I mean, if you hear how they're talking and the things that they're talking about, I mean, they're talking about like they are trying to institutionally change as much as they possibly can and dramatically as they can. Because again, they really only have 2 years, because
Why?
who
Yeah,
knows
because then they
after
got to
that?
start campaigning and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who
Well,
knows if they're going to hold the Senate and the House after the midterm?
yeah.
So, I mean, they've got 2 years to get a lot done. I mean, to me, I'm just like, I can't wait to see what happens with Ukraine. I can't wait to see what happens with Taiwan and China and all this other geopolitical stuff because um, I think we're back to where we were in 2016. I think everyone's cooling their jets for right now because no one. I mean, who's going to
Oh,
go step up to America right now? I mean,
that
you guys
that was
will.
another executive order that he did that I'm for it, but he did the executive order that there are only two genders.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And again,
Um,
this is all
I don't think it was two genders. I think it was
biologically.
biological
well, I think
male
it
and
was
female.
worded the weaponization of gender towards women
Hmm.
or whatever it was said.
But what significance does that have nationally other than any sort of federal facility?
It doesn't,
The
right? So
sports thing.
I guess you could say it gets
Yeah,
into Title
definitely. You're not going
IX.
to have a Leah
Hmm.
Thompson.
But to your point, Jason, yeah, a lot of this, like the Gulf of America, it's all inside baseball, like federal government stuff. It's not like, he's not God, right? The
Right.
president's not God. They can't just decree something. They can decree something that the federal government has to follow. And I think that's kind of what it is, and it gets into schools and everything else. I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, we've got all this splashy stuff at the beginning, but and we said this a few weeks ago on the show, I think there's going to be enough news every day. We could probably do a show every day. I mean, because this first week, it's going to be more of this. It's going to be these dramatic things. They had the whole announcement tonight with the investment, the 500 billion investment in AI, the joint partnership
Mm-hmm.
that's going on in Texas. But I mean, you get back to the election reforms. You get into, I mean, they're going to get into the whole tax thing, getting into military. I mean, just getting into, are they going to get rid of the Department of Education? I mean, all these things that were talked about during the race that are big deals, I mean, I just have a feeling it's going to be like I think it's going to be like this for a few weeks at least, just sort of like a fire hose of stuff going
So
on.
they do they do a first 30 days or what is it?
Hundred.
First 100 days? I
I
think
mean,
we're
that's just a measure. Yeah.
yeah, I think we're going to see some significant change by then.
He's not like again, he is not suffering fools, and it really, and I kind of feel this way too. I don't know how, I mean, I'm curious how you guys feel. And I've said this to my wife too. Like, I used to flip around to different channels, and I would read like Huffington Post, and I'd read Daily Cause, or I'd listen to like Pod Save America, just because I like to torture myself, I guess. But I just wanted to like kind of see what their rationale was. I have zero interest in any of that now. Like I hear like, oh, so and so editorial board said, well, I'm like, I don't care. Like those people, their opinion means nothing to me. It's like we're moving on. You guys had your say for all these years and the lies and all the hoaxes and all the propaganda and now I'm just like, I just choose not to. I just don't care about it, and that's why the whole thing with like the J6 pardons doesn't really bother me because I'm sort of people are like, oh man, this is horrible. This guy, like that cop, Farone, who's basically like a puppet of the Democrat Party now. Anyway, he's up there whining and crying about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't care, dude. It's like we dealt with so much crap from these people for so long.
I
Well,
mean,
and
I mean, even if
if
it's an
there was
error, like
actually
I'm like,
somebody
okay,
that
it's an
like
error.
assaulted an officer, fine. Give them their time or do
But
whatever.
but even so, but yeah,
But
you
other
can't
than
give them
that, I
time and
mean,
not give anyone else time for doing the exact same thing.
Well, yeah,
And
but I mean, what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander. So maybe you just have to be the bigger person and take your fucking punishment and
yeah,
keep it moving.
I'm just not
Um,
interested in being
but not when
fair
you didn't
right
do
now.
anything.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Here's
I'm not interested in being fair. Like, I'm not interested. It's like, okay, if this goes outside of the lines a little bit, so be it. I'm really,
Life ain't
I have
fair.
no empathy or
and
sympathy at all.
and to what you're saying, like even as I was looking at executive orders, this is a travesty. When I'm looking for it, I have to go, oh no, wait, that's Politico. Oh no, wait, that's ABC News. Oh no, wait, that. It should be relatively the same news, but I
Yeah.
have to look for one that I feel is not biased. You know what I mean? We're
Well,
not living in a world of we're not living in a realistic world. Like you have to look for your news source rather than just look at the news. Does am I making any sense?
yeah. No,
Like
and you do, but you also, it's how when you read an article, like if you just read an article and you didn't know where it came from or who the author was, I mean,
you can tell by what you're reading.
within like 6 sentences, you can tell, like, is this a journalistic effort? Is this a opinion piece? I mean, it's not
He
that
could
hard
do
to.
he could do a great deal of good if he kind of reins in the way the media is working.
I think the media is, if it's not the biggest problem that we're facing right now domestically, it's right up. It's in the top three. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of like, I hate CNN or fake news. I'm talking about the whole profession
They need to bring back
needs
like
a
Real
wants
journalism.
needs to be reshuffled, and the schools, the journalism schools, and the people who are quote unquote teaching that, you can't just be like, oh, I hate journalism, I'm not going to read the news. It's like, it is, having a functional press is essential for our country. It is
yeah,
It'd almost be
absolutely
what's it
better to
called, like
have
the
enough.
Fair
100%
Press Act or
necessary.
something, where if you're gonna talk an hour about one person, you have to talk an hour about the other
Equal time,
in
yeah.
a non-biased way.
I think
Yeah,
one of the
that
great
has to do with like the public airwaves
Public
though.
airwaves,
NBC,
correct.
CBS, they have to do that. But
Yeah,
like cable channels, podcasts don't.
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, and that's fine, but that's private. I mean, but like somebody that doesn't have cable TV and sits down in their home and watches TV should be able to get all of the things.
I want the
Right.
journalists to have power. I think a good example would be like Frost Nixon. Like he had Nixon like literally sweating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, again, he
but
was,
here's the thing: they
yeah.
should have power, but not unreigned. Like a journalist should be asking questions that
It's
we
who
want to.
what
They should be a representative of me, of you, of Des, of Jason. They should be held to a higher standard. Um, not parroting whatever their tribe is
it, yeah, it's
thing.
arrogance. I mean, the journalism schools, they teach this thing called like the new journalism, I think they call it, where it's actually taught that you, as a journalist, which is completely not what a journalist is, you're supposed to advocate and speak up for the downtrodden. Again, a lot of this like Marxist ideals that get into it. Um, when in reality, you just are supposed to do the who, what, when, where, how, and why,
Isn't it
and write
interesting
it
that
professionally so that people can digest it. I mean, there's also opinion, and that's great. We should always have that, but that's not new, that's not journalism.
Oh,
isn't it interesting that you never hear about all the philanthropic things? I mean, you do, but not on the level of like how it really is. Like Trump has given tons of money. So did Biden, but who did they, they're hiding things that may alter our vision of what these people are doing.
Yeah, we already established that.
Yeah, it just
What
just
about the other thing I really liked is the revoking of the 51 intelligence people
Yeah, I
that
was gonna read some of these, some of these
Yeah,
ones.
please
that
do.
said that the
51.
Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinfo. All those people lost their security clearances. That's fantastic.
Oh,
That's like,
really? Okay.
yeah.
Hey,
So
did
that's
you guys notice, by the way, that John Paul, out of the blue on Facebook sent out a message today?
no, wow.
So he and I have talked a couple times, and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, come on, man. You're probably golden at this point. You know what I mean? He didn't get back to me, and I told him if you're not interested, of course, I
But
understand.
you said he sent a message out today?
Yeah, he said just, it was all about liberty and all these other great things. It was very heartwarming. I
Yeah.
really like that guy. I hope we get him on again.
So
So I'm gonna
Desiree,
read. I'm
yeah,
not gonna read all of them because some of them are just words that are like, I don't even know what that means.
Words,
It's just
words.
fluff. That's
Well,
just
I hope
fluff.
they're all words.
Well, they're all words, but some of them are just words that are put together into a sentence that doesn't mean anything. It's
gotcha.
just words. Okay, so
Desiree's
we talked
riding
about.
riding the what's that medicine you took? The for your
Oh, I'm on the Tamiflu. I'm on the Sudafed.
yeah,
I'm on all the
she's
things.
riding the lightning right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico America. Designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
That one
That's a
is
good one.
going to be a lot of fun.
And
That one's gonna be a lot of
it
fun.
was kind of funny how like every time like they would hand him like the executive order book, he'd be like, "This is a good one.
Did
This is a big one. We
I
need
write
this. Yeah,
Oh
this is
man.
big."
Yeah.
Okay. Ending diversity, inclusion, and equity hiring in federal government.
That's a huge one.
Temporary withdrawal of all areas on the outer continental shelf of offshore wind leasing. So get the fucking wind fans out of the ocean. Revocation of any active or current security. That's the one we just talked about.
Yep.
The pardons for J6 rioters.
I love that
Reevaluating.
one. That's just such a you're gonna pardon all the people that created them, the criminals. We're gonna free the criminals. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Reevaluating United States foreign aid. Declaring a national energy emergency. Restoring accountability for career executives. Promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. See,
Yeah.
that one was just
Yeah, he that's a big one with Trump. He got into that the first go round with wanting more like classical architecture like that you see mostly through DC and
mhm.
not having federal buildings that look like, they're on the cover of Architectural Digest, I guess. I mean, that's his thing.
That's interesting.
Okay. That's probably didn't need to be an executive order, but whatever. Fluff. Restoring the death penalty in the United States.
After everyone's gone.
Yeah, that one.
After everyone's gone.
He Biden let or
Yeah.
commuted the sentences of everyone on death row except for 3.
Oh, he did?
He did before he left.
What
I didn't
an
know that wasn't
asshole.
part of it.
Everyone on federal death row except for 3 guys.
Well, what were the 3 dudes? What 3 guys?
There were 3 people that made the
Fauci.
news. No, there were 3 people that made the news.
Hitler.
One was the guy that killed the people at the church in South Carolina.
Really?
One was the guy that attacked the synagogue, I think, in New York. And I can't remember the third, but
And
it was something
Mangione.
like that. No, it wasn't Mangione.
Hmm. Anyway, well, that's interesting. I'll have to look and see if some of my death penalty friends are on there.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I don't have any.
Wow.
Routing. Actually, no, I think Jonathan and Reginald Carr fucking were on death row. No,
Well,
maybe
then
they
he's
weren't.
spent. Now they commuted them all to life in
Well,
prison.
they better not.
They're not letting them out.
What the actual fuck? That is so atrocious. Oh boy. The last 4 years is going to be a shit stain on American history
What about BTK? I don't think he was on death row. But anyway, okay, back to this. Securing the United States borders, routing more water from the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta to other parts of California.
Oh, so they could put out some fires, maybe?
Maybe. Realignment of the U.S. refugee admissions program.
Mm-hmm.
United States citizenship does not automatically extend to those born in the U.S.
Birthright citizenship, 14th Amendment.
That's
Yep.
gonna be a fight.
But I think
That one is because isn't that like
it's going to be a
whole
fight,
ass
but I think
amendment?
it's going to win because it was never intended. I mean, this is not a matter of opinion. That law was never intended. That part of the 14th Amendment was never intended to be what we
used by
understand as
immigrants that
birthright citizenship. I mean, again, if you're a diplomat and you work in the United States and you're here for 3 years and your wife has a child here, that child's not a citizen of the United States. Part of the next clause in that, and what they were trying to delineate is you have to be born in the United States and under the jurisdiction of the United States. If you're here illegally, you are not under the jurisdiction. You're
like
not
the
a
parents
citizen.
have to be under jurisdiction.
Correct. Yes. So if you're a U.S. citizen and you have a child, your child it confers onto them. But if you're just some rando dude that just crossed the Rio Grande yesterday and your wife has a kid, per the black letter meaning of the law, that child should not
Yeah.
be a U.S. citizen. Now, back in the 60s, they kind of started interpreting it that way, and no one ever fought it in court, and it's just sort of become the habit. I mean, it's what we've been doing. There is precedent. I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer, but maybe there's something they can
What do
fight
you
saying
think
like this
about
is the
dual
precedent.
citizenship? Here's just for a second, because I know a
Yeah.
couple of people, like in my actual life, like one that was born in France, one was born in Canada, and I think the other one was born in like some fucking weird ass island. Anyway, and they have dual citizenship because they were born in that country,
Right.
but they are they I mean the parents were there on visa, like on a visa basically.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
different countries have different laws, and I'm no expert, but that's why when people in the military have a child, like John McCain was born
Well, they weren't
in
military babies.
Panama, I think. Oh, they aren't. Okay.
They weren't, no.
But what I'm saying is if you're born on a military base or you're born and your parents are in the military, you still could have US citizenship. Now, whether that country that you're born in confers citizenship on you as well, I mean, I think that's different for every country.
Mm.
But the thing is, again, you have like the letter of the law, the intent of the law. I think reasonable people can agree that when the 14th Amendment was written, the intent was not to have people running over here as their water is breaking,
Yeah.
right?
No, I get you.
And having a kid. I mean, I don't see how anyone could reasonably say that that was what it was written to protect. It's not.
Yeah.
But
I do want to
whatever.
say one thing
It
about
was written. It was
Go ahead.
written for slaves, right? To
I believe
guarantee
so.
them equal rights under the law. Yeah.
To guarantee them their offspring citizenship because
Yeah.
their status was when they were before the Emancipation Proclamation, their status was what, as property?
Property. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, did you see that joke that oh anyway, just heard the joke.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
um,
Chappelle on SNL this weekend was hilarious.
I will say this, we can feel however we want about illegal immigration.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you were an illegal immigrant and you got a story, a harrowing story about how you came over here from Cuba on a fucking cardboard box,
Yeah.
swimming,
Yeah.
you could stay. You can stay.
Yeah.
Or like if you
that's a
if you came
legitimate
over
asylum
rolling in
case,
a
yeah.
like tire, like somebody rolled you
Yeah.
over in a tire,
Talking about
you can
Ileana
stay.
Gonzalez.
Well, no, we
No.
sent him back, but yeah, I mean,
Like
and
if you have a
Jason said,
compelling story about how you got here, like if you just went through some shit, you floated for 40 days on a water bottle to get here, like you could
that
stay.
happens all the time.
I
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
dude.
I'm for it. Yeah, I mean, again, it's there's so much rhetoric where it's like if you just want the law followed, it's like they try to paint that people that have that point of view as being like mean or evil or something like that.
But
I
you
mean,
can't just walk over. That's not even that.
right.
That's cheating.
You can't have a country. I mean, again, opinions aside, you cannot have a sovereign nation with open borders. It's just those
No.
two things can't exist at the same time. You're
Here's
either a
some,
sovereign country or you have no borders.
I mean, if you faked yourself being a corpse and you put yourself in a corpse box and you got under the airplane cargos, I mean, that's a story. You
Yeah.
can stay.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway, Realignment of U.S. refugee admission. We said that already. Unleashing America's affordable and reliable energy and natural resources. Clarifying the military's role in protecting the U.S. borders. America First trade policy. Okay. Resolving backlog of security clearances. Talked about that. Restoring accountability to policy influence positions within the federal workforce. Withdrawing from the WHO.
World Health
At
Organization.
this point, I'm all for it.
And also the Paris Accords. Paris Accords or the whatever Paris Climate
Accords,
Paris
Climate Treaty.
Delaying the TikTok ban for 75 days. Putting America first in that's words. Deliver emergency price relief to the American people. That's kind of fluffy. Hiring freeze for federal civilian employees. Regulatory freeze pending review. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship.
The regulatory freeze is huge, and that's
What's
something.
That?
So, and if it's what I think it is, one of the big things beyond immigration and geopolitical stuff that we have to really get right in this country is the administrative state that we have. I mean, and the Cliff Notes version is, again, we're a republic. We elect people to be our representatives to make laws, and then and enforce laws through the executive branch. So, so on and so forth. And if those people fail, there's mechanisms we have to get them out. What we have right now, that's the design. What we have is we have Congress critters that are giving their authority away to administrators in these government organizations, say like EPA, who can make rules and regulations that have a criminal component to them if you violate them. So you can be like arrested and fined and imprisoned. So basically we have unelected people, appointed people who are making regulations that can take away the liberty of citizens. And that's a total disaster. That's a total disaster.
I just saw a video of Reagan talking about that problem the other day. He was saying that it's been 40 years
it's
at
been
minimum.
a big problem. Yeah.
And his point was, if it's a law, you're innocent until proven guilty, and you have to debate the law in order to pass it. Regulations just appear based off of unelected bureaucrats, and if they think you've broken it, you've broken it. There's nothing you can do to fight that. You have to face whatever penalty they impose.
That's not American.
And I've been trying to say, I didn't want to interrupt anybody. I think the biggest good feel that I get from all of this, and like I said, I think I've been pretty open that Trump isn't necessarily the guy that I like, but I think I am liking him more, because here's something that, and you guys probably felt this already, but for me, this is a new feeling of, over the last 4 years, everything was mandated. You have to do this. You have to do this.
Come out of the closet. Keep coming. Come on, man.
Come on.
And he comes out, and it's like, it's not a mandate. This is how things will be, but there's no like repercussions for denying whatever he says outside of what the normal repercussions would be. It doesn't feel forced upon us.
It's called republicanism. Get the fuck out of my business. Law.
I think you
and government.
love Trump. I think you're a Republican who loves Trump.
You know what? Okay, here's what it comes down to. Before, at the beginning of our show, and I still think we got to do a supercut of me transitioning from one political party to the other. I think it'd be a great spin. But I at the beginning of this escapade that we've started of the Friends of Zeus podcast, I was like, Obama, I would sit down and have a beer with. Trump, I would sit in the back and listen to him go off and act like a maniac. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I would like to have his ear for a few minutes and talk to him. He'll probably listen to me.
He's an interesting guy. He's got the riz, right? I mean, the guy talks. He's fun to listen to.
The guy had a TV show for like a decade.
Yeah, he can talk
And
extemporaneously.
Andy was in Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, Home Alone
And
2. Sorry.
And the WWF.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right. Didn't he fight somebody in the didn't he like throw a pounding on somebody in the
I think
WWF?
he did. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
that footage of him outside the ring. But
Yeah.
look, Trump is ridiculous. He says stuff that's like hilarious. Like he has his little verbal crutches and
I don't know if I'm going to say his
hugely
heart's in the
and
right place, but I think it's in a better place than I thought it was before.
I think his heart is in the right place only because I can't understand what he's getting out of this other than he heartfelt really loves the country and wants it to do better because I don't see the benefit he's getting. I mean,
I'm
Hmm.
less argumentative about that
Did
statement.
he give up his salary again?
yeah, he's giving up
Of
his salary
course.
again. But I mean, obviously, but what I'm saying is he went through, he could have just been like, he risked going to jail. He risked losing his businesses. I mean, that's a lot to do and then lose and not get what you want. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how people can say like he's just in it for himself. I'm like, dude, if he
A
was in it
little
for
off
himself,
subject. Did you
he could
guys
have gotten out of this years ago. He'd be doing fine, you know?
Okay, a little off subject, but within the realm of the inauguration, did you guys see Barron leaning over and talking to Biden for a second?
I did not.
I just picture him going, "You tried to kill my dad, you're gonna fucking suffer." You know, like I have the feeling that there was a threat behind that because he's
I don't
21. You know he's getting all the ass he ever needed in his life in college. But he has a very stoic quality to him. That's where I get kind of the autism vibe. But
Well, his
yeah,
mom's
he's
Melania.
what's that?
His look at his mom.
yeah, very stoic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know enough about him, but he's got the a couple Trump qualities about him. He's got that like just kind of sit there and smile for the camera. Well,
I
he doesn't smile at all, but
I tell you who is I used to like more, and I don't dislike him, but I definitely I
Where's
don't know.
Ivanka been?
Is Joe is or not Joe Don Jr.
didn't
The
she die?
son who
Ivana died.
Oh,
Ivanka.
Ivana
Ivanka, the
Where's
daughter.
she
Yeah.
been? I just haven't seen her.
she was there.
Oh, okay.
She was at the something. I saw her
Mm,
somewhere. I think at the Capital One Arena.
mm, mm.
But no, Don Jr., man, when he was talking, he's totally just doing his dad now. I mean, it's like if you look at him like years ago, he kind of had his own, but now he was doing this thing, with the hands and the way he was talking and kind of stiffly looking. I mean, he's totally doing his dad, man. I mean, I'd be shocked if that guy doesn't run for president one day too. I mean, he'd have to. Maybe he could be vice president to Vance or something. Not saying I'd want him to be president, but
Couple of other, just a few more little thingies. The two sexist thing, the ending of DEI, recessions of dozens of executive orders from the Biden administration, Department of Government Efficiency to implement the president's Doge agenda.
hmm
DOG. What is
Yeah.
that?
Department of Government Efficiency,
Okay.
and they're using Doge as a kind of the
Yeah.
the Doge coin that
Yeah, I was
Musk
like, what
was
does that mean?
promoting.
A little.
Putting America's foreign policy first, protecting. Yeah, okay. This one's cute. Tapping into the vast natural resources, energy, and seafood in Alaska.
Wow.
We're all gonna have shrimp, guys.
And
Crab.
King crab
seafood.
legs.
Have mine.
Oh, crab.
Crap.
Lake caribou.
Um, Pulling the U.S. out of the global corporate tax deal secured by Biden, organization of the National Security Council and subcommittees, declaring a national emergency at the southern border. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he ordered everyone that works in the federal government back to work. Like, you bitches
Yeah.
can't work in
Yes.
your office, your home
Yes.
offices anymore.
I got to do some more
Yes.
research on that because there's definitely there's a lot of there's a lot to that for sure, big time. Because the thing is, and I know some people that work in federal agencies, and there's a lot of real estate that's not getting used now. That the was it GSA, Department of Government Service, whatever
Yep.
organization
Yep.
owns all the real estate in the government. But there's office buildings that just aren't being used now because so many people are telecommuting or what they used to call telecommuting. But I don't know where I come down on that. I don't know how important it is for everyone to be in the office all the
I think
time.
it's important for people to be in the office because
You know what?
it's
I've brought this up before on the show. Sometimes things in life are about the process.
True.
And even like driving to work and going out for a couple beers after work or just
doing the water cooler meetings or copying your ass on the copy machine and putting it on someone's desk. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
again,
got you.
it's really, I'm dead serious. It's about the process. And when you don't have to go in and you can sit there in your fucking pajamas
and
and do
do
your
whatever you want.
job.
It's like part of the problem that a lot of we're having in this country is the socialization of folks. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
well, if you're just sitting, I mean,
Yeah, if we get
hell.
out there and we experience other people, which is part of the process,
Hmm.
even just driving by the asshole on the way to work and having that
Flipping them off.
me talking about my drone viewing the other day. There's
Yeah.
like things that happen in the world, and you can't do those sitting on your couch doing your work. And isn't it ironic that somehow these people that are telecommuting seem to be being more efficient, or that's the illusion that we're being given? So if they're that efficient, get them back in the office.
There's
I
no
don't
I
way
know.
got
that they're
you.
more efficient. There's no way.
Not a
Because
chance in hell. I don't believe it. That's what I'm saying.
not every single person, not, it's not, there's no way. Not, there's no way.
I've
That's
had
all I can say
so
about that.
many opportunities to work from home as like a an advice nurse
Hmm.
and get bank. And you know, the first thing I thought was, I'm not gonna get shit done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to make money and not do shit, but I won't keep the job. I'm just not gonna
Yeah, they
succeed.
call that podcasting.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
no, that means when you do something and don't make any money. That's podcasting.
We're going to make money one day.
I
Like
did
if you
see
had, I don't know, I just don't have enough discipline for that.
I did see a joke where someone said one of the executive orders was that Trump orders that everyone gets a podcast mic or something like that.
That's
That's
great.
funny.
That's great.
There was
Well,
another one that he did that wasn't on here, or that he said he did. I don't know.
But
I
I
don't
can't
know. I think
remember
we're
it.
gonna get a few more.
I just don't know how this whole thing with going back to work is going to work because again, and this is something I don't agree with, but federal employees, a lot of them have unions, which I'm so against federal employees having unions
That
because
seems dumb.
I know, but they
I'm
do.
not against unions. I
And
think
I'm
unions
against
have a
federal
purpose.
employee unions, but because it's sort of like, what the hell's going on here? But anyway, what I'm saying is there have been contracts signed in various agencies and different unions and different types of workers, and you can't. I don't think you can just flush that down the toilet, with an executive order.
I think we got to
Maybe.
look at this one as a paradigm shift. If we can get to a middle ground between, yes, there's still people working from home, telecommuting, whatever you want to call it, but more people go back to work. I think that would be a something I could live with, somewhere in the middle. Like
But
my
like, what's
job,
wrong with going to like? I just don't understand. Like,
I
what?
don't get it either, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
an
don't.
escape
No,
from
I
your
don't think
home life.
it's all because of COVID. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not. I don't feel super strongly either way. I would like to see a study of like, is it? I mean, my feeling is yes. If you're working from home, in general, it's going to be less efficient. But I don't know that. I would love, I mean, to me, at the end of the day, I just want it to be as efficient as humanly possible and attract the best
Yeah, but
people.
Mike, you don't know that, but you kind of know that.
But think about when you're at work and you can
You know what
just
I
bounce
mean?
ideas off of
Yeah.
people and just like,
No, I get you. There's
you know,
something
And you
about being
come up
in
with
that.
something
socialize, and
great. Think about
there's
all the people you can talk shit on at work and how it makes your day great. Like, I mean, everyone has like the one person they hate at the office. Like,
Right. There is a
it's
collaborative thing
camaraderie.
that you
you've been
miss.
hearing all
Yeah.
that talk about you, Des?
Hmm. Oh, don't no one talk shit on me.
Oh no. Oh no,
hey,
girl. Not you, girl.
And if you did trust me, I probably know you're saying it because I'm self-aware. Thanks.
There you go.
I don't want to sidetrack things, but I'm kind of jet lagged and
Yeah.
my
No,
brain's shutting off, so I'm gonna jump off.
I
All right.
got you.
I
Well,
think
take care,
All right,
Jason.
cool. Good
take
seeing
care,
you.
See you,
buddy.
Jason.
Yep.
Bye.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Um, yeah,
Save
actually,
images when you do the editing.
I know. I'm gonna leave that in there. No, I gotta get going
Have you guys
myself.
seen Kevin? He's like this tall.
No, Kevin?
Who's Kevin?
Okay, never mind.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Is that a Home Alone joke?
No.
Kevin,
It's a
no,
Hitler joke.
it's a Hitler joke.
Oh wow. No, that's one of the things that just, and then we can, wrap things up. But that was one of the things that the people that were defending Elon for the whole supposed Zeke Kyle is they actually got into like specifics of it. And I guess if you hold your hand this way, that's the Hitler one, and if you do it that way, it's fine. There's like they're
I don't
I
really
know,
thought it
man.
was
breaking it
this,
down.
a hand blade.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
could
all
very well be
bad.
the other way around. But I'm just like, man, we just look for shit that doesn't need to be looked for. It's very funny.
It's horrible.
Anyway, happy he's inaugurated, still not shot. Um,
Ooh, do you guys think that they really moved the shit inside because it was that cold?
oh yeah, it was fucking cold.
I
It
know,
was
but
cold.
I think it was cold, but I think it was also it had to have been partly security. I mean, down there, I should have said something, but I'm down in that area. I'm down in Capitol Hill fairly frequently, and they had that anti-scale fencing up everywhere
Hmm.
leading up to Monday. I mean, last time I was down there, I think was Wednesday, and they were still working on it, but it was like the entire almost the entire mall from the Capitol at least to like the Washington Monument. I mean, we had this, and then side streets were closed. I mean, it was like a fortress down
I
there.
saw a map. There was like
How
no
cold
road
was
there.
it?
It was probably like 15 to 20 that day.
Okay,
So
well, because it was at like 1 whole degree yesterday here. But what I'm
yeah, it
saying is
was.
every time I've seen images or like remember watching like in an inauguration, it's always
It's
been a
always
fucking
cold.
blizzard. A blizzard.
Yeah, it's always cold.
Bah.
The thing about it is, it's not you. It's a 12-hour thing. Like if you're going to go see the inauguration, it's like a 12-hour commitment of outside, and that's hard when it's like 15 degrees. But I think there was a component of security because it certainly made things a lot easier. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't mind having it inside. I mean, even if you're there in person, sometimes you can't even see the person on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
who
Well,
knows?
okay.
We got them.
Yeah, we got him. We got him for 4 years.
All right. So I think it's about that time
I think we should wrap things up.
that we should wrap things up. Well, toodaloo, and thanks for
Oh, don't
Jason
don't
for
go
coming
out yet.
on.
You need to pause for a second.
Okay, take care, everybody.